At 6:18 a.m., the outskirts of Vouledar suffocated in a cold, gray fog. A Ukrainian assault formation quietly advanced to the starting line, led by the Beast M2A2 Bradley and its battle-hardened crew consisting of Salt, Siren, and Mole. On the other side of the front line, Russian forces had laid a deadly trap with a dense network of trenches, RPG anti-tank weapons, and Kornet ATGM nests aimed directly at the sole access road. The Russians believed victory was assured, but in reality, the Bradley crew had transformed themselves from prey into hunters. In a bold maneuver, they used an M117 as a decoy to draw all enemy firepower, creating an opening for the Bradley to tear through the smokescreen and unleash a devastating storm of 25mm cannon fire. In less than 15 minutes, a fortified Russian defensive line had been reduced to a burning scrapyard, an ironclad testament to the power of explosive reactive armor ERRA and the nerves of steel of the Ukrainian soldiers. Could a lone armored vehicle survive plunging straight into the ambush kill zone of an entire Russian company, with Kornet missiles and swarms of lethal drones waiting to strike? Join us as we break this down right now. The battle did not begin with a conventional frontal assault, but with a highly risky psychological gambit. Amidst the chilling silence of the early morning, the M117 Guardian suddenly burst from its concealed position, roaring straight toward the Russian front line. In the eyes of the ambushing Russian anti-tank missile operators, this armored vehicle appeared as a lucrative target, a fatal mistake by the Ukrainian side. In reality, however, the M117 was a strategic sacrificial pawn, tasked with drawing all of the enemy's attention and firepower. As soon as it entered firing range, the M117 simultaneously detonated its smoke grenade launchers, erecting a thick, milky white wall that enveloped the entire area. This chemical smoke not only obscured naked eye vision, but was also designed to jam thermal imaging systems and scatter the laser guidance beams from the Russian Kornet missile complexes. In that moment, the Russian defensive network fell into a state of temporary blindness. The anti-tank weapons were still poised, but the target had vanished behind the white haze. Capitalizing on the very chaos and disorientation of the Russian troops, the M113, likened to an anxiety-filled bus, glided under the protection of the smokescreen, charging right up to the edge of the enemy trenches. This was the most dangerous phase of the attack, where the boundary between success and disaster was separated by a mere press of the throttle. The instant the vehicle's undercarriage collided with the rugged terrain of the front line, the rear ramp dropped, and Ukrainian infantry poured out like a whirlwind. They gave the Russian soldiers no chance to recover their senses. The Ukrainian fighters applied decisive close-quarters combat tactics, tossing smoke grenades and explosives into every bunker alcove, wiping out resistance nests with precise short bursts of gunfire. The seamless coordination between the speed of the armored vehicles and the decisiveness of the infantry created an iron punch, shattering the outer defensive shell of the Russian forces in less than a few minutes. However, the soul of this breakthrough lay in the 25mm Bushmaster main gun of the M2A2 Bradley roaring from behind. Gunner Siren, with his eyes glued to the observation screen, continuously fired wind-tearing volleys into suspicious tree lines and earth mounds. The 25mm armor-piercing rounds were not merely suppressive fire, they were a literal meat grinder, shredding the tree trunks where Russian soldiers were hiding and directly neutralizing the machine gun nests attempting to return fire. Every volley spit from the barrel of the Bushmaster cannon created an absolute layer of protection, a mobile dome of steel shielding the Ukrainian infantry down in the trenches. The tactical mindset here was crystal clear. Use speed to shock, use a decoy to break the coherence of enemy firepower, and use the Bradley's overwhelming firepower to maintain control of the battle space. The Russian forces, despite possessing the advantage of fortifications, were completely swept up in this fast, aggressive, and highly calculated style of play. But the drama of the battle only truly exploded when the Russians began unleashing their most extreme counterattacks to salvage the situation, forcing the Bradley crew to face their next life-or-death challenge. As the smoke from the M117 began to dissipate, the Vouledar battlefield was no longer a theatrical stage, it became a literal inferno. The Russian forces, after their initial moments of shock, managed to regain their composure and realize that the greatest threat was not the decoy vehicle or the infantry squad in the trenches, but the steel monster Bradley looming closer. From heavily fortified concealed positions deep within the tree line, a glaring green flash sparked the lethal signature of a Kornet anti-tank guided missile. The missile tore through the air at supersonic speed, leaving a long trail of smoke as it barreled straight toward the flank of the Bradley. In that moment, hanging by a thread, the survival of the entire crew depended entirely on the driver's reflexes. Mole, with the keen instincts of a soldier who had weathered dozens of major and minor battles, did not hesitate. He immediately executed a sharp turn, pivoting the front of the vehicle to directly face the missile's trajectory. This was a cold and precise tactical decision. It was better to accept a head-on impact where the armor was thickest than to let the enemy pierce the vulnerable flank of the vehicle. A crisp, deafening explosion rang out. The Kornet missile collided head-on with the explosive reactive armor, ERRA, blocks mounted on the Bradley's nose. By design, the explosive layer inside the ERRA bricks unleashed tremendous force upon contact, creating a counterblast that deflected the molten superheated jet of the Russian missile outward into the air. The multi-ton armored vehicle shuddered violently, as if struck by a giant hand, while dirt and debris sprayed everywhere, obscuring the view through the optics. Inside the cabin, the groaning sound of heated steel and the roar of the engine created immense pressure, but the crew remained completely unharmed. The Western armor system had performed its duty flawlessly. Instead of becoming a burning steel tomb like older generation armored vehicles, the Bradley stood firm, its engine still roaring, ready for the next engagements. This survival was not solely due to technology, but also the result of the absolute faith Mole placed in his machine. But the Russian forces did not stop there. Realizing their long-range firepower had been neutralized by the ERRA, they played their Hornet-card swarms of FPV drones carrying high-explosive payloads. Chilling buzzing sounds began to fill the air as the tiny but devastating drones dove down from the most treacherous angles. Gunner Siren instantly switched stances. He not only operated the Bushmaster cannon but also utilized the coaxial machine gun to unleash a fierce barrage at the incoming dark silhouettes. A first FPV drone struck the side armor but only left a black scar on the military green paint. The second one, in an attempt to find a gap at the commander's hatch, was intercepted from afar by Siren's fire, exploding against a dry tree branch and scattering harmless debris down into the trench where the Ukrainian soldiers were fighting. Even a third drone attempted a sneak attack on the rear of the vehicle, widely considered the weak point of any armored vehicle, but it merely left a long white scratch without penetrating the sturdy protection layer. The tension reached its climax when a second Russian Kornet missile launched from another ambush position. By this time, the battlefield had become overly chaotic with smoke, dust, and debris, but the Ukrainian crew displayed an astonishing spirit of steel. Instead of trying to retreat to save their lives, Salt the vehicle commander ordered Mole to keep pushing forward, maintaining the optimal angle of the ERRA to absorb the second impact. He knew that if they stopped, the vehicle would become a stationary target easily destroyed. The second Kornet slammed into the ERRA. Another explosion flared up, yet the Bradley stubbornly pressed onward like an immortal god of war. On that razor-thin line between life and death, Siren calmly continued to use the 25mm cannon to plow through the positions he suspected were the enemy's ammunition depots. The combination of the machine's extraordinary ability to take hits and the crew's extremely stable tactical mindset turned the Russian ambush effort into a disastrously failed display. They could not comprehend how an armored vehicle could survive so tenaciously against their most powerful anti-tank weapons. The battle at this point was no longer a conventional firefight, but a psychological torture for the defending Russian troops as they realized the prey before them seemed unconquerable. And it was in that very moment when the Russians' morale was most severely shaken that the Bradley prepared to deliver the final killing blow with its legendary Tau firepower, ready to completely wipe out the enemy's remaining armored formation. The atmosphere inside the Bradley's fighting compartment was thick with the smell of ozone from electronics and the heat radiating from the continuous bursts of 25mm cannon fire. However, instead of panic after just escaping the scythe of death from 2 Kornet missiles, a chilling silence enveloped the Ukrainian crew. Commander Salt, his eyes pressed tightly against the sophisticated thermal imaging sight, was performing a task that demanded the utmost concentration, peeling back layers of thermal signatures in a burning battlefield. Through the digital screen, the world appeared in contrasting black and white. Amidst the gray tree lines and the ruins of fortifications, 2 bright, distinct white thermal masses began to materialize. Those were not rubble, but living entities, Russian war machines hiding deep in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to deliver a killing blow. Salt gently adjusted the dial, confirming the targets: a BMP ready to open fire, and a Russian main battle tank guarding the rear. Target locked. Prepare missiles. Salt's voice rang out steadily over the intercom, cold as a pronounced death sentence. Instantly, Gunner Siren pressed the button to activate the Tau missile launcher system mounted on the side of the turret. With a space-tearing whoosh, the first wire-guided anti-tank missile shot out of the launch tube, leaving a brilliant tail of fire piercing through the dense smoke. The missile did not fly in a monotonous straight line. It glided, smoothly weaving under Siren's control via an ultra-thin wire. It severed dry tree branches, crossed barbed wire fences, and slammed directly into the flank of the Russian BMP with absolute precision. A horrific explosion shook the entire tree line. The penetrating heat of the Tau warhead crushed the thin armor of the BMP, turning it into a fiercely burning pile of scrap metal in just a heartbeat. The Russian soldiers inside didn't even have time to realize where their enemy was before being engulfed in a sea of fire. But that was merely the prelude to a symphony of destruction. Salt did not allow the crew a second of rest. The next target, the Russian tank, was at a distance of up to 2.1 kilometers a range, where most shoulder-fired anti-tank weapons become useless. In conditions of fog and gun smoke obscuring optical vision, only the Bradley's thermal imaging system could pierce this black curtain. The second Tau missile received the order to launch. This was a true battle of wits between Western technology and Russian steel. Siren held the reticle steady, holding his breath as he tracked the tiny flare of the missile closing the distance to the target. After a few seemingly endless seconds, the missile struck the tank's turret. A massive pillar of fire shot up into the blue sky, turning the tank into a deadly beacon on the battlefield. The explosive force from the TOW was so immense that it blew off the external explosive reactive armor blocks and detonated the internal ammunition magazine, causing a chain reaction that transformed the multi-ton machine into a lifeless hunk of scrap. The battlefield had now completely tilted in Ukraine's favor, but Salt's tactical mindset was still operating at maximum capacity. He detected an anomaly behind a fortified earth mound, an area with an unusually high density of heat. 25mm cannon, 12 o'clock, destroy the ammo dump. Salt ordered. Siren immediately switched to high-explosive HE rounds. The Bushmaster roared again with short, sharp bursts. Each 25mm shell accurately peppered the camouflaged wooden crates of the Russian forces. 1 second, 2 seconds, and then the entire area exploded. That was the reserve ammunition depot of the Russian ambush squad. The explosion was so massive that it created a shockwave that threw surrounding branches into the air, forming an orange fireball that lit up a corner of the sky. Just then, another Russian BMP emerged from behind, perhaps out of curiosity or intending to move up to reinforce its comrades. It fell right into the sights of the Bradley Reaper. Without a moment's hesitation, the third Tau missile was launched. This time, it skimmed past the burning wrecks, pierced the thick black smoke, and slammed straight into the enemy vehicle's flank. The second BMP exploded instantly, tossing debris into the air. The entire Russian armored ambush force, which was equipped to annihilate any unit daring to advance into Vouledar, had now completely evaporated under the firepower of a single Bradley. The combination of all-weather observation capabilities, precise guidance systems, and TOW missile firepower created an unprecedented display of destruction, turning a meticulously prepared Russian ambush into an armored graveyard in an instant. Every Russian calculation for an easy victory was crushed by the will and technological might of the Ukrainian crew. The battle ended as quickly as it began, leaving a chilling silence amidst the plains of Vouledar. In the short span of less than 15 minutes, the balance of power in this area had been completely overturned by a single entity. From a meticulously laid ambush plan, complete with the most powerful firepower, the Russian forces were now left with only smoking piles of scrap metal and soldiers whose will to fight was shattered. The trio of Ukrainian armored vehicles had performed a perfect battlefield surgery, completely resolving 2 drop-off points, wiping out the ambushing ATGM squads, and turning the entire Russian armored formation into blazing beacons. This was not merely a victory of weaponry, but also a tribute to an iron will and supreme tactical thinking. The miraculous survival of the Bradley against 2 consecutive Kornet missiles shattered the myth of the absolute power of Russian anti-tank weapons, while simultaneously affirming a cold reality: Western technology, when in the hands of elite crews like Salt, Siren, and Mole, becomes an unconquerable phantom. A single machine, if operated by cool heads and an absolute trust in its protective ERRA armor, is entirely capable of turning the tide of an entire campaign. As the final explosions faded into the air, the M2A2 Bradley slowly backed away, its looming silhouette fading behind the thick black smoke and early morning fog, leaving behind a devastated and ruined Russian stronghold. The ambush at Vouledar will now be recounted as a tragic cautionary tale for the Russian defensive forces. What do you think about this intense resilience and the ultimate display of firepower by the Bradley? Is the extreme composure of the Ukrainian crew the crucial key to every victory? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below, hit like, share, and subscribe to the channel right now so you don't miss the most dramatic and in-depth developments from the blazing battlefields.